The night air was thick with tension from the weight of expectations. Landon West, heir to the West Tech empire, sat hunched over his desk in the home office of his penthouse suite. A half-drunk glass of whiskey stood untouched beside stacks of merger documents and, as if mocking him, a velvet wedding invitation addressed to Mr. Landon West and future wife. Marry by the end of the month, or the board won't transfer the company to you, his father had said just days ago. And we've already shortlisted someone for you, his mother had added with a delighted smirk. The Kensington girl. She's perfect. Perfectly dull. Landon rubbed his temples. He needed air. I'm going for a jog, he texted the family group chat. He threw on a hoodie, earbuds, and hit the pavement. Rain started just as his lungs found a rhythm. Soft at first, then a full-on downpour. Perfect. He spotted a nearby bus stop and sprinted toward it. Just as he reached the shelter, he collided hard into someone. Both went tumbling onto the wet concrete. Seriously? The woman groaned, brushing rainwater off her face. Do you tackle all strangers, or am I just lucky? I didn't see you, I swear, Landon stammered, offering a hand. She took it, locking eyes with him. Brown eyes, wild curls plastered to her cheeks, and a crooked smile that instantly disarmed him. You okay? Nothing's broken, except maybe my dignity. He laughed genuinely. For the first time in weeks. Where were you headed in this mess? She pointed across town. Hillcrest, about 40 minutes by bus. On a good day, Landon blinked. In this rain? That's insane. Let me give you a ride. Oh, sure. Am I riding on your back, or will your private jet swing by the curb? He grinned. Neither. Just an SUV. I live a few blocks from here. Come dry off. Get some food. She hesitated, eyes narrowing. You're not secretly a serial killer, are you? Landon West, he said, offering his hand again. Of West Tech. Her brows rose, unimpressed. Oh, so rich and wet. He laughed again, relieved when she said, Fine, food, but I'm not staying overnight. Dinner was a whirlwind. Her name was Jade. She loved photography, hated olives, and wasn't shy about calling him out on his rich boy charm. Every time he tried to impress her, she flipped it on its head. She wasn't starstruck when he talked about his company. She didn't flirt when he mentioned his inheritance. She asked about him. What made him laugh? What he was passionate about. When he paused, she filled the silence with jokes that made him forget his name. Then came the announcement on the radio. All roads leading to Hillcrest are now blocked due to flooding. Residents are advised to stay in place until further notice. He looked at her. She groaned. Don't say it. Say what? He grinned. Don't ask me to stay at your place. Just for the night. No funny business, promise. Fine, she muttered. But I'm taking the guest room, and if your hands wander, I bite. Jade stepped into the guest room and blinked in awe. Cream velvet sheets, gold-accented furniture, a view of the skyline that looked like a painting. Yeah, this'll do, she whispered. Moments later, one of the maids arrived with clean clothes, a giant t-shirt, shorts, and a smile. From Mr. West. He thought you'd be more comfortable in these. Thank you, she smiled. She showered, curled up in the oversized bed, and tried not to think about how warm and kind Landon seemed, or how easy it was to laugh with him. The next morning, she padded into the kitchen wearing his shirt and shorts, still drying her curls with a towel. What she didn't expect was Landon, shirtless, humming, flipping pancakes like he belonged in a rom-com. Morning, beautiful. She stopped mid-step. Is this the part where you feed me strawberries and ruin my life? Only if you ask nicely. They laughed over breakfast. She complimented his cooking. He complimented her sarcasm. And then just as the rain started to pick up again, he turned serious. There's something I want to ask you. She paused, fork in hand. He leaned forward. I need your help. She rolled her eyes and sighed. I knew this was too good to be true. I can't give you my kidney. No, it's not like that, he stated while smiling. I need your help with a fake engagement. Jade stared at him, fork suspended midair. A fake engagement? She repeated, like he'd just asked her to rob a bank in broad daylight. Landon nodded, visibly nervous, and that was new. I know how it sounds, but hear me out. She set the fork down and leaned back. You have 30 seconds to make this make sense, he exhaled. My parents are forcing me into an arranged marriage. Business deal, merge two companies, zero chemistry, zero choice. You want me to walk into your parents' house and be like, "Hi, I fell into your son at a bus stop and now we're in love?" Landon grinned. You have to admit, it's a good meet cute. Oh, it's something, all right, she muttered. I don't need forever. Just a few weeks. 1 month, tops, enough time to convince them I'm committed to someone else. Someone real. Someone who isn't the Kensington Ice Queen. Jade's mouth twitched. So you brought me pancakes and think I'll just… What? Put on a white dress and smile for the cameras? No, he said. But I am inviting you to a charity ball in 2 nights. Come as my date. Get to know my world. At the end of 2 weeks, if you're not up for it, you walk. She stared at him, half tempted, half suspicious. And what's in it for me? She asked finally. My eternal gratitude. He said, smiling. She laughed. You're very, very funny. Try again. I don't know. A private driver, unlimited room service, exposure to my insane but wealthy family, and a free closet makeover. He smirked. She rolled her eyes. I'll come to your party, West, but this is not a yes to your fake love story. Don't get cocky. 2 days later, back at her apartment, she heard a knock on the door. Jade opened it to find a West Tech employee holding a wardrobe bag, a jewelry case, and a shoebox. Mr. West asked that you choose whatever makes you feel like shutting down a room. She blinked. What is this, pretty woman? He smiled. His words exactly. She chuckled, shaking her head. Landon West was either out of his mind or the most entertaining chaos she'd ever met. Landon's breath caught when he saw her. She descended the stairs in a sleek emerald gown, her hair cascading in waves, a confidence in her step that made people turn. He whistled low. If we were really engaged, I'd marry you just for showing up like that. Too bad we're not, she said, linking her arm through his. Try to contain your thirst. The ballroom glittered. Wealth was on display. Diamonds, champagne, polite fake smiles. Landon's grip on her waist was warm and steady. Jade noticed something else, too. He wasn't introducing her to anyone, especially not the stern-looking woman in silver, clearly his mother. She whispered as they passed by, Forgot how to say this is my date? Or are you just waiting for me to do a backflip first? Landon flushed. I didn't think… It's cute when you panic, she smirked. You get all twitchy. I do not twitch. You're twitching right now. Jade kept up with every conversation, every snide remark from wealthy women. The moment the Langston girl appeared, Jade knew. Perfectly coiffed blonde hair, backless gold gown, fake air-kiss smiles like she practiced in a mirror. Landon, she said sweetly, clinging to his arm like it owed her rent. You didn't tell me you were bringing… someone. Jade tilted her head. Oh, he barely mentioned you either. Wild, right? The girl blinked. And you are? Someone with no interest in marrying a guy just for a company. I like my men. Emotionally available. The girl's jaw tightened. You don't seem his type, Jade grinned. Because I don't grovel or drool? Yeah, I get that a lot. Landon stifled a laugh. Jade, behave. I am behaving. I haven't thrown a drink at anyone yet. But then came his sister, Sienna West, quick-witted, glamorous, and born with an eyebrow permanently raised. She pulled Jade aside. You're the bus stop girl, huh? She whispered with a smirk. Jade turned. You're the little sister with sharp eyes and sharper opinions? I like you already. Good. I'll need allies. Pretty sure your mom will be plotting my mysterious disappearance. She does that with everyone she didn't personally raise in a country club. They both laughed. I've never seen Landon look at anyone the way he looks at you, you know? Jade blinked. He looks at me like I'm insane, Sienna grinned. Exactly. He likes chaos. I think you might be his favorite kind. And with a sly smile, she walked off. Dance with me, Landon said, holding out his hand as a slow jazz number started. Bold of you to assume I don't step on feet. Good thing I'm already injured from your bus stop tackle. They glided onto the dance floor, spinning slowly, his hand pressed gently to the small of her back. You clean up all right, West. You're literally in a dress that could bankrupt men. But sure, I clean up, Jade laughed, looking up at him. So what's the plan after this? We survive tonight, then figure out how to fake a relationship without accidentally making it real. She didn't say anything, but her smile said too late. As the driver pulled up outside her apartment, Jade turned to Landon. You're ridiculous. He smiled. Is that a compliment? It's a warning. But she didn't open the door. He looked at her, suddenly more serious. So, about the engagement. You don't have to answer tonight. But I meant everything I said. You're different, real. I trust you. She sighed. You barely know me. I know you're not using me. That's more than I can say for anyone else lately. Jade paused. Then, I'll play your fiancée, she said, pointing a finger at his chest. But no rushed marriage. Engagement only, and only if you agree to my terms. Which are 1. No lying to me. 2. No trying to kiss me when you get bored. 3. If I say I want out, I'm out. Landon grinned. You just made my week. Don't celebrate too early, she said, opening the door. I will make your life hell. He leaned over. I wouldn't expect anything less. She began stepping out. Oh, he added casually. By the way, I'm inviting you to my family dinner. Jade stopped mid-step. Great, she muttered. I was starting to get bored. The West estate looked like something out of a magazine. Manicured hedges, pillars that screamed old money, and a dining room that could seat a small royal court. Jade adjusted the strap of her sleek black dress, wondering, not for the first time, if agreeing to this fake engagement was the start of her downfall. Don't be nervous, Landon said as they stepped inside. I'm not nervous, she replied. I'm calculating which fork I'd use to stab someone if they get out of line. He smirked. That's oddly comforting. The long mahogany table gleamed under the chandelier. Landon's mother, Evelyn, sat at the head, flawless, frosty, and dressed like a Vogue villain. His father, Charles, was slightly warmer, but held the same corporate sharpness in his gaze. And seated with a smug smile on the far side, Langston girl, dressed in a figure-hugging red gown. Well, Landon didn't tell us we'd be joined by a guest. Landon cleared his throat. Everyone, this is Jade. Jade gave a polite smile. Thank you for having me. Your home is beautiful. Evelyn's expression didn't change. Thank you, dear. I hope you're comfortable. I am. The staff's been incredibly kind. Charles offered a mild nod. I can't believe you invited her, Jade whispered through clenched teeth. I didn't invite her, Landon muttered. I swear. Of course you didn't, the girl purred, rising from her seat. I invited myself. It is a family dinner, after all. Jade gave her a tight smile. Cute, but aren't you the one who didn't get the role? Langston stiffened. I'm still very close with the Wests. Like a rash, Jade murmured under her breath, making Landon nearly choke. Charles cleared his throat and asked, And how did the two of you meet? Landon hesitated. Jade picked up seamlessly. Total accident, literally, rainstorm, bus stop. He ran into me like a linebacker. Sienna snorted. Evelyn blinked. Langston girl raised an eyebrow. And you just started dating? Evelyn asked, her voice carefully neutral. Well, he offered me dry clothes and pancakes, Jade said with a soft smile. Hard to resist that kind of charm. Dinner flowed into the main course, and though the conversation remained civil, every word carried an edge. Evelyn sipped her wine delicately before asking, Do your parents live nearby, Jade? Jade kept her expression composed. Not exactly, she replied. My mom travels a lot. Humanitarian work, and my dad passed when I was younger. Charles gave her a gentle nod. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you, she said softly. Evelyn didn't miss a beat. And what is it that you do, Jade? Jade didn't flinch. Freelance photography and event work. I like flexibility, room for passion. Langston girl jumped in. So, not much financial stability then? The room went quiet for half a beat. Jade looked at her calmly. Stability comes in many forms, but I imagine you wouldn't know much about that. Sienna actually coughed into her wine to hide a laugh. As dessert was cleared, Landon stood, hand on the back of Jade's chair. I wanted to let you all know something important, he said, voice steady. Jade and I are engaged. The air shifted. Sienna's face lit up with mischief. Charles blinked slowly. Evelyn didn't even blink. Langston girl dropped her fork with a soft clatter. Engaged? Evelyn repeated. Jade nodded. We wanted to share it with you in person. Langston girl's eyes narrowed. Forgive me, but am I the only one who thinks this is all a little too perfect? Landon stiffened. Excuse me? I mean, no offense, she said, clearly meaning all offense. But isn't this a little fast? You two have only known each other for what? A week? Silence. Langston girl folded her arms. I just think it's worth asking. Is this even real? Or is it just a performance for mommy and daddy's approval? Jade set her napkin down calmly. Let me guess. You thought you'd be sitting next to him tonight. Langston blinked, caught. I'm not here to impress you, Jade continued. But for the record, I didn't beg for this seat. I didn't chase him. And I definitely didn't fake a relationship. That's not my style. She looked directly at Evelyn and Charles. I care about Landon, and I'm not asking for your blessing, but I will ask for basic respect while I sit at your table. Langston girl opened her mouth and closed it. Evelyn studied Jade for a long moment. Then, very well. But a relationship built on speed is often built on sand. We'll need reassurance. Let's talk in my office after we are through here, Charles stated. You've surprised us, Charles said slowly. And while we want to support your happiness, Evelyn added, we need proof of commitment. Jade folded her arms. Meaning? We'd like you both to move into the south house on the estate, Evelyn said. Live together. Show us and the world that this engagement is real. Landon blinked. You're serious? You're asking us to delay the wedding, Charles said. Fine, but an engagement is a promise. We want to see that promise in action. Jade glanced at Landon, then back at Evelyn. Let me get this straight, she said. To prove we're in love, you want us to move in next door to your entire family? Evelyn smiled thinly. That's exactly what I'm saying. As they walked to the car, Jane dropped the calm act. Okay, that was insane. I told you they were intense, Landon muttered, loosening his collar. Move in together, she says. Just let us watch you be in love, she says. Like this is some kind of corporate Big Brother episode. He laughed, then winced. Sorry, but you were incredible in there. Jade gave him a look. Don't get soft on me now. You held your own. Even my mom looked impressed. Landon, your family wants to spy on us. You know that, right? They're going to be watching every move we make. He sighed. I know, but this is how we stall them. She muttered something under her breath. What? I said, fine. You'll do it? I'll try not to murder you. He grinned. That's all I ever wanted. Let's move in, fiancé. The South House wasn't just a guest house. It was a full-blown luxury residence with its own private driveway, chef's kitchen, and heated floors. Wow, Jade muttered as she walked through the marble entryway. This place has a better skincare routine than I do. Landon trailed behind with the 2 overnight bags and a nervous smile. Technically, you live here now, so congrats. Jade turned to him. So let's get one thing straight. Oh boy. We are not playing honeymoon house. I get the guest room. We stay in our lanes. No late-night cuddles, no towel mishaps. Towel mishaps? I've seen enough rom-coms to know how this goes, she said, pointing. No slow-mo moments with water dripping off your abs. He blinked. So you have been thinking about my abs. Focus, West. Jade woke up to the smell of coffee and faint music coming from the kitchen. She patted out in one of Landon's oversized t-shirts and found him at the stove. Again, shirtless. What did we say about towel mishaps? She grumbled. This is a shirtless breakfast, not a towel situation, he said. Totally different genre. She grabbed a mug and sipped. You're lucky this coffee's good, or I'd call off this whole engagement right now. He smiled. You're cute when you're cranky. And you're delusional before 9 a.m. Before Jade could retreat to her room, a knock sounded at the front door. Landon opened it, and to his horror and hers, it was his parents. Surprise, Evelyn said smoothly, stepping inside without waiting. We thought we'd drop by to see how the lovebirds are settling in. Charles offered a polite smile. We brought croissants. Jade froze mid-sip. Ah, Jade, Evelyn said, eyeing the t-shirt. So cozy already. Jade forced a smile. Oh yes, very. I practically live in his shirts now. Landon gave her a look like, please don't say anything else ever again. Charles looked around. And the sleeping arrangements? Landon blinked. Oh, well. We're taking it slow, Jade interjected. But intentionally. It's important to build a strong foundation, right? Evelyn nodded, not convinced. Of course, but chemistry matters too. You do have chemistry, don't you? Landon reached for Jade's hand instinctively. She didn't pull away. We have more chemistry than your wedding china, she said sweetly. Sienna chose that moment to walk in holding a bottle of wine. Don't mind me. I just came to rescue your girl from your mother. Evelyn gave her daughter a sharp look. Landon looked relived. Jade, Sienna said. Come on, let's get some fresh air. You're looking like you need a deep breath. Or 10. Jade followed her out gratefully. On the patio, Sienna handed Jade a glass of wine and a smirk. You're doing better than most. The last girl Mom interrogated cried into her shrimp cocktail. Jade sipped. I'm not crying. Yet. Landon's weird, but he's loyal. If he asked you into this mess, it means something. Jade looked down. I keep wondering if I'm pretending too well. Sienna raised an eyebrow. Are you? Jade hesitated. It was supposed to be a game. Now it's complicated. That night, after the parents had left and the house fell quiet, Jade sat on the couch watching some old sitcom. Landon walked in, hair damp from a shower, and flopped down beside her. Today could have gone worse, he said. How? They could have brought Langston Girl with them. Jade groaned. Don't even joke. He leaned back and looked at her. You were amazing. She glanced at him. You're just saying that. No, I mean it. You're smart, funny, quick on your feet. She looked away. Don't start liking me for real, West. He grinned. Why not? Because. But her voice was softer now, and she didn't move away when he inched closer. The first photo went viral 3 hours after it was posted. A blurry, zoomed-in shot of Landon and Jade walking out of a designer boutique. She was laughing at something he whispered. He was looking at her like she held the cure to boredom. The caption? Westtech Heir finally off the market? Who's the mystery woman on Landon West's arm? And why does she look like she's not here to play nice? Jade stared at the photo on her phone and snorted. Mystery woman? I have a name. Landon grinned from across the kitchen island. To be fair, you do look like you're about to destroy someone's soul. That's just my resting media face. Their next event, a tech foundation fundraiser, was being live-streamed. Cameras everywhere, reporters lurking. You ready? Landon asked, fixing his cufflinks. Jade adjusted her earring. Born ready? But the moment they stepped onto the carpet, the flashes started. Dozens of lenses, dozens of questions. Landon, over here. Who's the fiancé? Can we get a kiss for the camera? He looked at her, question in his eyes. She gave him a tiny nod. He leaned in, kissed her cheek gently, a soft brush of lips that made her freeze for half a second longer than it should have. Inside, the mood was classy, controlled, and crawling with tension. Langston Girl found them within minutes. Oh, good, she said with a syrupy smile. I wasn't sure you'd show your +1 tonight. She's not a +1, Landon said. She's the one. Jade arched an eyebrow. Smooth. Langston didn't blink. Must be exhausting pretending to be in love all the time. Jade leaned in slightly. I wouldn't know, but I imagine it's a lot like pretending you're still in the running. Langston's smile cracked. She turned to Landon. You know, the press keeps calling this engagement a surprise. You'd think if it were real, your own board wouldn't be scrambling to explain it. Jade's heart skipped. So that's her angle. Keep poking, sugar, she said coolly. But don't be shocked when something bites back. The limo was silent for a while. Then Landon spoke. You didn't have to go that hard on her. Yes, I did, Jade said, kicking off her heels. That girl is 2 seconds from leaking a fake text thread and calling a press conference. He chuckled. Still, you're scary when you go into war mode. I'm cute scary, like a tiger in heels. He looked at her sideways. You were amazing tonight. Jade didn't respond at first. Then, you didn't look at me like it was fake. He hesitated. That's because sometimes I forget that it is. Her breath caught. He looked at her. Do you ever... She looked back. There it was. The moment. The almost. Yes, she whispered, then paused. But then I remember we're lying to everyone, including ourselves. Silence. He nodded slowly. Right. She turned away, heart thudding louder than it should. The next morning, lines changed. West Tech fiancé has a past. Sources claim Jade isn't who she says she is. An anonymous tip hints at a secret background she's hiding. Jade stared at the screen. Her stomach dropped. Landon, she said, voice flat, holding the tablet toward him. He took one look and muttered, Langston. Jade's jaw clenched. She's digging. She won't find anything, he said. Right? Jade didn't answer right away. He turned to her, slower this time. Jade, is there something I should know? She smiled. Soft, unreadable. Not yet. Landon barely touched his coffee. He watched Jade from across the breakfast nook, where she sat curled in a robe, scrolling through the latest gossip posts. Her face was unreadable. Too unreadable. Jade, he said quietly, if there's something I need to know, I need to hear it from you, not a headline. She didn't look up. What do you want to know? I want to know why you didn't deny it. A pause. Then she set the tablet down. Because denial only feeds the fire. The press is like a toddler. Tell them no, and they'll ask why. That's not an answer. She met his gaze finally, and something flickered. Guilt? Sadness? You told me once you forget it's fake, she said softly. So did I. That's why this matters. Because if I tell you my truth, and you treat it like a headline, I lose both parts of the lie. Landon leaned back, conflicted. What are you hiding? But before she could say another word, their phones buzzed. Family meeting, 4 o'clock sharp. That's all the message said. Jade and Landon exchanged a knowing look. You think it's about us, certes? Jade asked, already knowing. Landon sighed. If Langston girl involved, it's never not about us. She's been quiet for 2 days. Too quiet. Jade felt it in her bones. That gut-deep knowing that someone was scheming. And with Amelia Langston, silence wasn't peace. It was war. They arrived at the West Estate to find everyone seated already. Evelyn in pearls, Charles tense. Sienna sat cross-legged on a velvet chair, bored but alert. And then Amelia walked in like the devil wearing red silk and smugness. I hope you're both ready, she purred. This won't take long. Jade's eyes narrowed. Oh, I'm always ready, but thanks for the warning, Satan. Amelia turned to the family. I didn't want to do this, she began. Everyone in the room groaned at the same time. But I care about this family, and I couldn't stand by while Landon is being made a fool of. She whipped out her phone and tapped a few buttons. Your fiancé is cheating on you, she declared triumphantly. And I have the proof. The screen behind her flickered on. And then, Photo 1, Jade and a tall, handsome man having ice cream. Photo 2, Jade walking holding hands with him out of a boutique. Photo 3, Jade unlocking the door of the South House, him right behind her. Gasps, a beat of stunned silence. Evelyn looked like she'd swallowed a lemon. Charles sat back, frowning deeply. Even Landon blinked. Amelia folded her arms, victorious. Well, she sneered. Still think she's your dream girl? Jade stood up slowly. Calm, dangerous. I don't know what's more embarrassing, she said. You hiring a private investigator, or thinking I wouldn't find out about it? Amelia blinked. Sienna stood too. walking up to the screen, pointing. Wait, isn't that the bodyguard Jamal? The new one Dad reassigned to the house last week after the paparazzi broke in? Everyone turned. Charles squinted. Evelyn leaned forward. Jade smiled sweetly. Landon told me I wasn't allowed to leave the house alone, and I didn't want to be rude, so I bought him an ice cream. He held my arm because I tripped. The rest, I made sure your little spy saw everything I wanted him to. Amelia's mouth dropped open. You set me up? You played checkers. I played chess. You wicked little witch. Oh, honey, Jade smirked, brushing non-existent dust off her shoulder. That was me being nice. Landon's laugh echoed through the room. Sienna was doubled over. Amelia spun on Evelyn. She manipulated the narrative. No, Evelyn said sharply. She followed the rules. You invaded her privacy and made baseless accusations in front of your future in-laws. Former, Jade corrected. Evelyn's lips twitched. We'll be speaking to your parents, Amelia, and you will not be invited to the gala. As the family meeting ended, Amelia stormed ahead of them down the hallway, humiliated and fuming. Landon and Jade followed a few paces behind, barely containing their laughter. You really planned that? Landon asked. I baited the hook. She swallowed it whole. He grinned. Remind me to never get on your bad side. She gave him a look. You're not safe either, West. That evening, Jade changed into workout gear and slipped out for a jog. She needed to clear her head. Too much adrenaline, too many eyes. She didn't expect to see her. Jade, she stopped in her tracks. Mrs. DeWitt? The older woman looked shocked. My God, child, you're miles from home. I needed a break. Your mother is worried sick. Jade's chest tightened. She doesn't know where you are, does she? Jade looked away. Please, don't tell her. Jade, I just needed space, time. You think disappearing will change who you are? That it erases your last name? Jade shook her head. I'm not running. I'm choosing. Mrs. DeWitt exhaled. You have 1 week. If you don't reach out, I will. Then she turned and left, like a warning cloaked in Chanel. 2 days later, the West family gathered in the grand hall of the most exclusive event on the calendar. Evelyn clasped her diamond-studded clutch with reverence. This night matters. Eyes will be on us. The host is a legend. She opened doors I never thought possible. Show respect. Jade descended the staircase, radiant in a navy gown with a slit that defied gravity. Landon forgot how to blink. Wow, he whispered. She smiled. You clean up all right, too. As they entered the ballroom, champagne flowed, orchestras played, and billionaires mingled under golden chandeliers. Evelyn gathered them as a group. Come, I want to introduce you to the host. They followed her across the room toward a tall woman in an elegant backless gown, her posture regal, her voice unmistakable. Darling, Evelyn called, may I steal you for a moment? The woman turned. Jade froze. Mom? Jade gasped. The woman's eyes widened. Jade? Charles, Evelyn, Landon, and Sienna all said it at once. Mom? The ballroom had gone still. It wasn't the kind of silence that falls naturally. It was sharp, charged, and heavy. Dozens of elite guests frozen mid-sip, mid-smile, mid-whisper. All eyes were on Jade, and the woman she'd just called Mom. Evelyn was the first to break the silence. I'm sorry, Jade. Did you say... My mom, Jade repeated, breath short, voice thinner than usual. That's my mother. The host stepped forward, eyes wet. I didn't expect to see you like this. Not here, not now. Landon looked from one to the other. You're serious. She's very serious, Jade said quickly. Can we please not do this in front of everyone? The woman nodded. We'll talk. In private. Evelyn was pale. Charles was stunned. Sienna? She was grinning, like this was the most entertaining thing she'd ever seen. The drive was tense. Landon didn't speak until they were halfway home. So, you're the daughter of one of the richest women on the planet? Jade stared out the window. Yeah. And you didn't think to mention that at all? It wasn't relevant. He laughed. Not meanly, just stunned. Not relevant? Jade, your secret identity just caused a royalty-level reveal in front of the most powerful people we know. She turned to him, tired. I didn't want you to see me differently. I don't, he said quietly. But I do want to know why you trusted me with everything except the truth. She looked down. Because the last time I told someone who I really was, they used me. He studied her. What made you run? She hesitated, then looked him in the eye. Because my mother tried to force me into an arranged marriage. With someone like her. She didn't need to say the name. Langston girl hung in the air like bad perfume. Landon's jaw twitched. So we really aren't that different. No, she said. We're not. Later the next day, her mother requested a private meeting. She didn't wait for Jade to speak. You can't marry him, she said. You're still expected to honor your original engagement, the deal we built the merger on. I don't want him. You wanted the company. I still do, Jade replied, voice firm. But not like that. Not through a loveless deal. I want to lead, but with someone I choose beside me. Her mother's eyes narrowed. And you're choosing Landon? I'm choosing me, but I think he's the only one who sees who I truly am. That night, Jade sat cross-legged on the couch, flipping through a tablet, pretending not to feel his eyes burning into her skin. Something on your mind, West? He walked over slowly, took the device out of her hand and set it aside. I'm trying really hard to be respectful, he said. But you keep looking like that, and I'm losing. She stood. He stepped closer. You've been driving me crazy, he murmured. She smirked. Good. He kissed her, and for a moment, everything else, the lies, the legacy, the looming threats, melted away. They moved together in a mess of heat and quiet desperation, months of pretending unraveling in a tangle of sheets and breathless confessions. His mouth trailed along her collarbone, her fingers clutched his back. They didn't speak, they felt. Just as the morning light threatened to peek through the blinds, a loud knock ruined everything. Jade? Sienna's voice chirped from outside the door. Please don't be naked. I need to say something dramatic. Jade groaned into a pillow. Your sister's insane. Landon grinned, and completely incapable of timing. 10 minutes later, Jade stepped out onto the balcony, hair in a messy bun, oversized robe hanging off her shoulder. Sienna was already seated, holding a cup of tea like royalty. You broke the internet, you know, she said casually. Great, Jade muttered. Can't wait for the memes. I like you, Sienna said bluntly. Not just because you put Amelia in her place or because you're obviously good for my brother, but because you're smart. You're scary smart. You know who you are. That's rare in our world. Jade smiled softly. Thanks. Besides, Sienna added with a shrug, we were overdue for a scandal. My brother's too boring. That evening, a private dinner was held with both families. Jade's mother, Landon's parents, Sienna, Landon and Jade, all seemed calm, until Amelia Langston walked in, uninvited with a smug smile and a devilishly handsome man on her arm. Jade blinked. Landon's father whispered, What the hell is she doing here? Before anyone could speak, Jade's mother stood abruptly, her face hardening. You! She snapped at the man beside Amelia. What the hell are you doing with her? The room froze. Before he could answer, Amelia stepped forward. Well, she said, her tone dripping with venom, Jade took my man and refused to return him. So I took hers. A beat of stunned silence. Then Jade's mom, without missing a beat, turned to her and said, Darling, please tell me you didn't run from that to fall for this mess. Landon burst into laughter. Now I know where you get your fire from. Iconic. Sienna added. Evelyn slammed her napkin down. Amelia, why must you insist on wreaking unnecessary drama on this family? Amelia's composure cracked. You all turned on me, she screeched. For her! The room erupted, voices overlapping, accusations flying, forks clattering, until silence! Jade stood, commanding the room like she'd been doing it all her life. I've had enough. The room stilled. She turned to Amelia. If you want to marry him, go ahead. I don't care. I could have had him a year ago. I walked away. I don't want him. She turned to her mother. I'm done running. I'll take the company if that's still what you want. I'll lead. I'll build. I'll dominate. She tossed her hair back, eyes fierce. But I will not inherit my future on a leash. Charles blinked. Evelyn covered her mouth, tears rising. Now let's address the only man at this table that I want to talk about. She turned to Landon. I've tried not to love you. I've tried to keep it fake, to keep it safe, but you've ruined me. You and your loyalty, you and your damn pancakes, you and your stupid soft hands holding my chaos like it's made of gold. You didn't ask what I could offer. You didn't care about my last name. You let me be me, messy, moody, untamed. The room laughed. Nervously, she stepped closer. Landon West, you infuriate me. You challenge me. You see me. And if I'm going to rule an empire, I want you beside me as my choice. She turned to Landon. I want you because I've fallen deeply and madly in love with you. She turned to Sienna. And if I get a best friend out of the chaos, even better. Tears were forming in Evelyn's eyes. Charles gave a proud nod. Jade's mother, for the first time, looked speechless. Landon stood, and without hesitation, he pulled her into a passionate kiss. Tears, applause, and Sienna whispered under her breath, about damn time. Sometimes the love we fake teaches us more than the love we chase, because real love doesn't demand perfection, it embraces your chaos and stays anyway. And in a world full of deals and expectations, choosing someone who sees you, really sees you, is the boldest move of all. Who is your favorite character? Team Jade, Team Sienna, or Team Amelia Langston girl? And where in the world are you watching from? I'd love to know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if the story kept you hooked. Until next time, stay bold, stay sassy, and never fake what you feel.